Hi, this is Guess Who? Guess Again. My name is Stephen Childs. And they are the buttholes. I'm not. I have one though, be careful. So, guess what? So do these guys. Watch, I'm going to show you on the screen. What? White monkeys? Yeah. They are in the farthest. They're the macaques in northern Japan. And they like to go into this hot spring in the wintertime. So I've been real curious about what caused the white skin to happen, and I made the post about the Neanderthal and why do they always show the Neanderthal as having white skin when they don't live that far north? Most of them live south of Italy, south of Spain. You know, that's kind of the average of the gene map would be in that area, that particular latitudes. So they don't go further north than Germany, Poland. And so that's the extreme for range. And I don't know how cold that was. If those particular Neanderthals stayed that far north, that tribe, that segment of the tribe would begin to turn white. Because look at those macaques. They're simian monkeys. And humans come from the simian line also. And then we're beyond, later than that, we are with the great ape clan. So there's 5 great apes. We don't have tails. The lesser apes, gibbons, have tails. I think I'm right on that. Anyway, let's go back to the topic that I really wanted to talk about is the short I just made, where I'm really quite expletive in a uncontrolled way. You know, if you say I'm uncontrolled, I consider it a compliment. I control myself. I think my dad would say, if you don't control yourself, something else will control you. So they're trying to control our mind so that we can't even tell anyone what happened to us because we're too afraid to talk about it. That's the fear that strikes me at times with this narcissistic abuse that actually causes brain damage. And you can see it on an MRI. I'm almost positive that I'm right. I'm certain that it can be evaluated and proven to be real. When I'm under the effect of extreme narcissistic attack, I have a hard time writing words down. My mind is so jumbled. It's difficult to get to my car and get the right key out of my pocket without wondering if I'm doing something wrong. They want your mind so befuddled that they want to take you over. And I felt that. I've let myself go into their control a little bit so that I know it happens. It's like something shifts and you're just suddenly under total control. And I didn't go any further in allowing it to happen. I don't know if a person could go that far and then, or become controlled completely and get back from being controlled. I don't know. Somebody else might have experience with that. So in this short video, I'm explaining how I noticed they were claiming me as their self. See, actually, I had a dream that I was this girl's. She's since died from drugs and alcohol. That I was herself. And they told me in the dream that I am herself. What? What does that mean? Where are we going with that? So then I start paying attention when people are talking about their self, and they're like, that guy over there is myself. They point at you when they're saying myself. So they're claiming they own you when they do that. So, this short, I say, I found a way to stop them from trying to claim me, because what their self actually is their own asshole, because they are assholes. And it's titled, Can you taste what you are? And so I'm walking back, and I can see there's, like I was told telepathically, there is a big stench that just happened, and people are getting it, because I've been explaining how the Christ is female and male together. It's a group of people, or a group of beings. It's not just a male thing. And so the Muslims that have control of the women, they're not going to have control of the women, because they're going to get Christ's blood as the female menstrual blood, stinky, right at them face, right in their face, full force. And they won't want any more of that. And I'm so poor I got shit for a weapon. Now, they don't want any more of this either. Then they try to blame me for causing the problem of my shit in their nose. I'm not the cause of it. They are. And they try to blame me for it. But it's just because they don't have as much power as I do. Because I'm aligned with these beings that can make people experience things like that. They can make you have migraines. They can make you feel like something's cutting you in half. It's magic. It's black magic. It's pure fairness magic. And it seems to be like black magic. Because it's not something that is coming from love. It's coming from, you are not allowed to do me wrong, and I will go further than you can ever imagine to stop you from doing me wrong. And it's going to be fair, because you're not allowed to do us wrong. We're going to be fair, and we're going to punish you. And here's the deal. Stop doing us wrong, and we won't punish you at all. We forgive you and honor you and welcome you to Team Fairness. So we're going to unify the entire planet this way. So these people are not knowing what to do. As I'm walking by, I can see them in their cars, and it's like question mark on all the people's face. Yuck. What do I do? And I'm like thinking the thought, ask my extraterrestrial atheist friends to take the stench away for you. And they don't want to do it because they're atheists. And I'm like, oh, how long are these people going to realize that just because we're attached to the idea of a supreme being doesn't mean there is one? The smarter a being gets, the more humans learn, the more atheism becomes the belief system of choice. So, extrapolate that into the future, and advanced humans, we're atheists. In another 500 years, it's like, remember when we used to think there was a supreme being that created everything with its own mind, and it's separate from us? And we know we live in a non-local, there is no separation reality. It cannot be separate from us. So it's like, the logic of this, they didn't even understand this, they didn't know very much yet, It's like, if you go back 500 years from us today, people thought the world was flat. And some of the people that are toying with others claim that the earth is flat now. And I claim that they are assholes. And we're tired of smelling their shit. with their false beliefs. So we want them to eat it till they stop telling us the earth is flat. So the Bible says that people like me are going to burn in hell for denying Jesus. And no, we're turning that back on the believers. They're going to burn in hell for believing in Jesus, if that's the game they want to play. Now, the people these days didn't write those words. Those are just words in a book. But there are people these days that are saying every word in that Bible is the word of God. And if it's the Book of Mormon, they say, well, Joseph had the real scoop on the thing. So it's actually the Book of Mormon that has no errors in it. And it's more absurd than the Bible. So, if you don't want to ask help for atheist extraterrestrials to get you into a place where there's some fresh air and to get your migraine headache to go away, if you don't want to ask my higher power, my greater power for help, then ask for mine. Go through me. Because you don't know what they are, and you know I'm a human. I don't have a contract with aliens. So I don't have a contract. I'm ruled by the law of the land, but it's like I'm looking for an attorney to I don't know the word. See, I'll start getting narcissistic. Look, I just started stuttering. Narcissistic abuse symptoms. Just talking about the judiciary of the United States of America. It is narcissistic abuse upon me. So how am I going to get an attorney that's part of it to represent me? That's the word, represent. I want to sue for brain damages that happened to me from them. And it's not just the judiciary, it's the entire culture on the planet. I have no place to go to get away from this culture. I drove truck, 48 states. This culture of narcissistic abuse is everywhere you go. Every place I go into a truck stop to eat or a restaurant to eat, anywhere in the country, people are eating crap when I get in the room. They're like, whoa, lately I've just been speaking up. I go to a restaurant and I can see it happening, and I just say to the guy, how did that taste? While you're claiming that you're going to have to kill someone. It looks to me like you're going to have to eat humble pie. You'll be too busy eating humble pie than to kill someone. So invariably, it's me that they're talking about killing. I figured it out. And maybe that happens to other people too. It probably does. It's just their MO of getting people to surrender to their God or their guru or their fearless leader named Stalin. You see what I mean? It would have been going on within populations that are atheists. So they would never bring God into the conversation. They would just talk about the party, the Communist Party, and Joseph Stalin. While he's starving to death, 10 million people died in Russia? Russians. For him to try to establish his communist farming system is what he wanted, was the system where he has absolute power. It's like Trump wanting to have absolute power, using the Bible upside down and a new version of it that's got his official okie dokie on it. So what happened on my walk is the people everywhere I go are learning the telepathic method of, here's the thought, if you do us wrong, we'll rip your heart out and stomp on it. If you stop doing us wrong, we won't hurt you at all. We'll protect you. You're forgiven. We don't know anything about your past. I don't know about you. So that's like the quick form. And it's just thoughts. They're not controlling our thoughts. When we can think that thought, they don't have control of our mind. We do. Or we wouldn't be able to think that thought. And it's just a thought. We don't need any violence. We don't need a revolution. We don't need to protest. What we need to do is enact the World Fairness Agreement as soon as possible, so all these stupid murders and killings and hatred stops. By just the simple agreement, we agree not to do each other wrong anymore. We're all humans. We have different colors of skin. We're different genders. But we're all the same family. Like the Bible said, we're brothers and sisters. That we're all God's kids. So that's another way of saying it. We count the same in the universe. So I'm not any more special than anybody else to my atheist friends, but they're glad I came up with the idea. It's kind of like they can't do it for us, but they will help us a lot once we figure out the method. But they wasn't going to tell us. We needed to defeat evil ourselves, or we'd have a dependency on them. And that's the problem, is we have a dependency on people that are not being fair to us. And if you come from a narcissistic culture like I did, it's in your own family because they're surrendered to the Lord. The Lord that wants me to burn in hell. See what I mean? So you can't blame it on your own family because it's a cultural thing. It's worldwide. This tribal warfare started before humans became humans. You can take the most mild-mannered, wouldn't hurt a fly person and put them in abuse long enough, and they start thinking that thought. If you do me wrong, I'll rip your heart out and stomp on it. If you stop doing me wrong, I forgive you. You're welcome. We'll help you. You always have to add that to the violent thought. That this is just to stop you from the narcissistic abuse upon me. You're causing brain damage to me. I can't even protect my own family. My daughter says, why didn't you protect me? She said this needed to be said. Well, it's because I got to defeat the narcissism, and maybe she's one. Maybe I'm one. To some degree, we all are. So I can become as heartless and cold-hearted as anybody in the universe. If you do me wrong enough, I don't have any feelings for you. None. And basically, we're at that level. There's so much hatred that's happened from warfare, terrorism, people stealing our property, our money, our families. And then the narcissistic way is to blame the person, blame the victim. You wasn't holding your mouth right. You wasn't praying hard enough. God hates you. Yeah, right. What God? Show me this God. This laughing stock. This entity that claims it has all power. And claims it's separate from us, and we live in a reality where there is no separation. It's all quantum entangled. It's all one. So, that's a wrap.